Rangers, today we've got another Figuarts review of Vegito. I just want to say thank you very much to Jeff for helping me get this. Without him I would not be able to have done this, so again thank you very much. So let's jump straight to it. First of all, we have the window display here where you can see Vegito, his name here, and then also you have a lovely picture of him, or the other like fun animation, warning Bandai Dragon Ball Z. On the side it's Vegito. Then on the back here we have all the different poses that you can do. So his normal state, and then you got his Super Saiyan state, and again some more text. It says another picture there. On the bottom, just text warning, and at the top it just says the ultimate combination, Vegito. So let's have a look at the figure inside. This is what you get inside. You get Super Saiyan hair, the beam sword attack that he does, his folded arms, which again is the third time I've seen something like this, his different array of hands, and his different faces. And here is Vegito. He looks absolutely stunning as soon as you take him out of the box. So let's have a look. First of all, you can notice his hair is very much like Vegeta and also very Super Saiyan straight away. You can see his eyes, which stand out quite well with the black line that goes around the white. You can see that he has paw earrings attached to him, and again the detail of it rather than just being like say one line down. So you can see that the yellow at the end, and then we can see that the gi is now a combination of blue and orange, and the neckline you can see just above there, if you can just turn him around, you can see that they've sculpted it straight onto him. The next part is actually looking at his costume. Obviously now that he's fused with Vegeta, it's a mixture of colours. So we have the orange here, and as well as the blue, and the sash is blue as well. If we have a look at say his like the lines all the way here, it's actually contour of what the material would look like on his actual body. We can see that the arms move up. Now I've noticed that on his arms you can see the little peg, little metal hinge, and it's not like say the same colour as his skin, but it's very hardly noticeable. You can move his arm up like so, so you can see that he can actually bend, and if we look at the muscles we can see that they've actually been properly sculpted in, which is quite nice, and it's quite a bit, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but at certain points there's a lot more of a darker pink than normal, or like a peach colour. Again, the arms move like that, but we'll have a look at that at the very end. As we can see here, it's very similar towards Goku originally, as well as the Power Ranger line, where these can move around to kind of contour what he needs to do. So they can move in, they can move out, so when you need to pose them in his different ways, you can do very easily. And again, on the top there's quite a line around, which would actually simulate the ruffle of a material if you were wearing it yourself. We can see here that the lines all form again as if it was proper material. As you can see from his hands on the actual gloves here, there is raised again as it would look like if you were actually wearing it yourself. The hands turn around very easily, just like so. But you can definitely tell that they've taken some time to actually sculpt the entire whole body. Here we can see the more of the lines, and I actually quite like this. It stands out of most of the figure at the moment apart from his hair. So you can see that everything's ruffled and it's raised, and it actually feels quite cool, to be honest. You can tell with the Saiyan boots that they are pretty much like Vegeta's. Well, I always liked the boots, and I don't know if you can see it just there. Let's bring it forward a bit. You can see that they've even put the lines on just like that. So yeah, you can see that they put the lines, and on the end of his boots you can move it up. It even looks like on the bottom where you can see it there. Well, actually I didn't realise that it actually has his like a number just there, but the boot can move if you want to put him on like a textured rock, or if you have a scenery for him. The boots comes down here on the material, on the leather, I think. I'm guessing it would be leather in the series, but you can see that they've sculpted that into it, and again the boots actually move if you want to have him posed in different ways. As you can see here, the back of his head, the spikes look absolutely, they just stand out a lot when it comes to Vegito. Very much, as I say, like Vegeta's hair, but it sticks out and you can see that they've really put some work. Rather than just being like a plain black, they've actually put work here. You can just tell there's different textures, so it looks layered rather than just like a standard plastic. Again, we can see the purport earrings at the back, and again, rather than just having a plain neckline as well on his near his shoulders, they've actually put part of the orange gi in there. You can see just here, again, more detail on what it would be like if you were wearing it. On the back, again, we see there's more kind of raisedness, like material wise, and then it leads back into the sash. The orange tips look absolutely stunning and perfect. On the back of his arms there's more muscle definition, which really gives this figure more life, which I really like. As we move down, we can see here that there's more of the same leg movement we've seen in Goku, which I was not a huge fan of because it just looks weird that an entire chunk's just been taken out of his back of his leg. But we can see that the material wraps around it all, which is what it's meant to be, which I think is amazing. But again, I can see why they've done it. I'm not a huge fan, but I can live with it effectively. As we can tell here, there's quite a lot more definition on the material, and again the back of the boot and where it looks creased just there, which I think looks pretty cool. So now we've looked at the figure, let's see how it bends. First of all, his neck joint looks fine. It moves around in multiple ways and the face doesn't fall off like it did on Goku or the hair. Arm movement is fine. It moves up and down and it bends quite a bit. Here again, his other arm rotates on 360 degrees and again moves absolutely fine. His legs are a little bit stiff when you first get him, but obviously the more that you pose him, they'll be absolutely fine. So we can see that his legs move all the way around with his leg, just like that. Just be careful, because if you do get it, don't put a lot of pressure. Just literally just move it up and down, up and down. And again with his foot, you can move it around, and as we demonstrated before here, it moves the toes. Body does come out a little bit at the top, but you can, as soon as you put it down, it's absolutely fine. Okay, as I just demonstrated with the leg, it was a little bit stiff. Just gently move it. It does look like it pops out. With this one I noticed it was at the back as well as on the front. Just here, that's what may cause a bit of a problem, but just push it back and you'll be fine. So it's same, push it back. Don't force it, because obviously you don't want it to break. Just be careful with it and just play with it and pose it very gently. With like all Figuarts, you can remove their hair if they have interchangeable faces. Now let's have a look at what Vegito has. So that was quite stiff to take out, which I actually quite like. Unlike Goku, which was just kept falling off. And his face is actually quite hard to take off, so it does take a while. Look out for these sort of pegs, and again there's pegs on the back which just slot in, so he's looking the other way and then you can pop it back in. So I'm guessing because it's the first time, he will look a little bit different. It will take some time, but once it's in there, it's absolutely fine. We're now going to put the Super Saiyan hair on top of him. Now I thought maybe it takes off quite easily, but the instructions say you basically pull his head off, which brings to the hair there, and obviously you can just change it around very simply. There's his Super Saiyan hair. Again, we just take this off like so, and then place his face back in, and then take his hair and add it back. Just add it there. So now we can see that he has his Super Saiyan hair. To be honest, I think I might leave it in the Super Saiyan hair mode, and then you attach the ball joint to there, just like that. So with just the added extra head, it gives the whole figure something completely different and a unique feel, which I absolutely really like. I've always been a fan of the Super Saiyan since I ever saw him when I was a kid, but this, I've got to admit, I love the hair. Just even the hairstyle is completely different. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but there's so many different shadings just on it. Literally you can see the spikes go all the way up, and even though his face is not on properly like it is now, yeah, we can see that there's more like connection wise. So here you can see that even on the face there's like a tiny bit of hair that actually simulates it all going across. If we have a look at a bit weird turning his face all the way around, but as we can see here, you can see there's so much texture, just makes it just a unique figure that I really like. You know, I think this is possibly my favourite Figuarts of them all, as he's one of my favourite characters. So as we've changed his face again, you can see that he's got a smirk as well as it's looking out one way like that, and I really like that. I think that looks really cool just as a figure. And there we go again, his last face where he's screaming and powering up. This I actually like as well. You can tell the texture of his mouth is pink, and you can see that they've even put the teeth in, which normally, you know, some companies don't actually do, but this looks fantastic. Obviously, as I said, you can take and combine these arms with this. So effectively it says in the instructions that you just pull his arm off like that. Be careful, again, if you do pull it too much you don't want to break the figure. And effectively you then combine it. I quite like that when you do, you basically click it here. It does take some time. I really wish it was a lot easier to kind of pose him like that, but it doesn't look like it's connected properly. It might just be due to the fact of that the pegs might not be big enough, or the arms don't. Kind of wish you could kind of combine it here, so taking that out rather than just having it pull out completely. But as you can see, he looks kind of cool just like that. Pretty much I've changed his hand because I like this effect. I don't have the stage for it, but here is his like beam attack. So you can basically, I think that's the right way, but you can attach it straight to his hand, just like that, or is it the other way? You can attach it like that. I think that's really cool. So if you did want him to kind of point, you do, I think just there underneath it there's a small dot where you can actually have it holding onto it, so you can put it on properly and then have him like just attack with it. But if you wanted him to do like a beam slash straight away, the figure's able to support it like with one like that, but it's able to support it properly. But if you wanted him to point it, it will just kind of fall off, but you can actually have the stand to actually hold it properly. So there we go, Rangers, there is Vegito. He is an awesome figure. I definitely recommend adding him to your collection, and I want to say a big thank you to Jeff for actually helping me get this figure. Without you I would not be able to do this review, and this is an awesome figure, so again thank you very much. So Rangers, your questions of the day is, would you get this for your collection, yes or no, and what do you think about him? Pop it down in the comments down below, and if you've liked this video, like, favorite, comment and subscribe. Check out Yada Games and all that lovely goodness, and as always Rangers, thanks for watching and I'll see you in a bit.